We have some stuff to talk about. Hello, Power News Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, an emergency episode here in the middle of the week because I can't even believe that this is something that's happened, and I am very confused. But we have a lot to talk about here today, a lot of stuff that I didn't think I'd be able to talk about until now. So basically, I wake up like 20 minutes ago and saw that 2 hours ago, at the time we were recording this, at EU Health on Twitter, which is the same person who shared that zoomed in photo of the alien Yellow Ranger chest photo like a week before we had a picture of the actual set that confirmed that there was going to be the proper triangle on there and everything. You remember that whole confusing thing? Well, this dialed that up to like 115 because we have 4 pictures here that were shared by him this morning that just, I can't even believe that this is something that's happening here. So I kind of figured that at this point in the week, because I'm still trying to gather all the news stories for Lightning Storm, not a lot has really happened. I kind of figured our main story of this upcoming Saturday's episode was going to be Invisible Phantom Ranger. If you did not see this last night on my Twitter account, there was a bill of lading that went out that had both the Skelly Putties from the Cobra Kai crossover, so those have started to ship to the US, but also had a figure listed as In Space Invisible Phantom Ranger. So once again labeling it as in space, but it was going to be an invisible version of the Phantom Ranger. Now that was something I had heard about a little while ago, but as I usually say on Lightning Storm, if I can't share it, it's because more than one source or one or more sources don't want me to, just because it's too early to get the information out there, or it can, it can be traced back to them and it can get them in trouble or whatever it may be. But this tweet just comes out of nowhere, which has 4 pictures on it. One for SPD Yellow from Wave 14, one from the Tenga Warrior 2-pack I've been talking about since December 2021, one for Invisible Phantom Ranger down here, and then a gif of RPM Yellow doing a little pose like this, kind of her, well, it's actually a Go 100 gif, but okay, so we have a lot to talk about here. I'm going to go ahead and start with Invisible Phantom, though, because like I said, I thought that was going to kind of be our main topic of this upcoming Saturday. The Invisible Phantom Ranger figure is actually labeled as Turbo Invisible Phantom Ranger on the box, which is really, really nice to see. I don't know why the bill of lading has it listed as an in-space figure. It's probably going to mean that the figure pictures are going to have that in the labeling of them as well, but for some reason here it's actually correct. It's Turbo. It doesn't really matter either way, but it's nice to see that at least. So we can see this semi-translucent, kind of a weird airbrush sort of paint job on it as well. That kind of makes this sort of translucent looking, transparent, kind of invisible Phantom. I really, really like the box art there. I think that looks freaking sweet. But it does seem to basically just be the same figure that we've had from the Wave 10 version, with the same kind of effect piece, the same kind of Turbo Navigator. But I really do like the paint job on here a lot. I think this is a cool figure to release. A lot of people were making fun of it last night by saying, oh, this can just be Hasbro's way of selling you an empty box for almost $30, or, posting pictures of them holding nothing and being like, look, my Invisible Phantom Ranger figure arrived, which were very, very funny. Now, as for how this is being released, I am not 100% sure just yet. I don't believe it's a Wave figure. I don't think. But I don't know what's going on anymore, to be honest with you. So this is one of those really weird wrenches that throws a lot of my ideas of what was going on kind of up in the air, which I gotta say, it's cool. I'm a little blindsided, but this is pretty cool. So we have Invisible Phantom here, which all of this I'll go ahead and say, now that we have pictures leaked by him, which I still have no idea how he got these pictures. I would love to know how. But I think that it's lending even more credence to that January 17th reveal day that I keep talking about on Entertainment Earth that has power and the hint for what is going to be dropping that day. I definitely think we are inching closer and closer to an event because we have this. We have the remastered Mighty Morphin Blue from last weekend. We have everything else in this tweet. So I think it's definitely going to happen, and I think Invisible Phantom is going to be one of those drops. So going back to the first picture posted by him today, we have SPD Yellow from Wave 14, which I'm sure he's posted because it's the only figure from that wave that we haven't seen some sort of leak from. At least I think. We're going to get to that in a second. But SPD Yellow here we can see has pretty much exactly what you would expect her to have. I think that the civilian likeness to Z is not terrible. I definitely do see it in there. It's not one of the best ones for sure, but we just have that one picture to kind of go off of here, but I don't think it looks terrible. What does look terrible though is that Morpher. That Morpher is backwards again, I think. So people, oh yeah, no, that Morpher has the SPD on the wrong side. It's like flipped, like it's like the SPD should be on the opposite side of the Morpher. So I have no idea why that's wrong. We've had it, well, I wouldn't say we've had it right every single time. We haven't, but most of the time we've gotten that decal on the correct side. I don't, why? So why is that Morpher run when it's our last of the main 6 to have this, the last of the main 5 that would have this Morpher piece? I do not understand that whatsoever. I'm sure that will make it to the final release, because that's just kind of what we do now. But yeah, that's SPD Yellow from Wave 14, so yeah, so that's one of the figures that we had from that teaser from back during Hasbro PulseCon. So we knew that she was on the way. I've talked to you about her numerous different times, but unlike Dino Thunder Black and Lost Galaxy Pink, which had leaked weapons before in like September, this is the first picture of this that we have. Now for the rest of Wave 14 here, I was talking to him on Twitter a little publicly, so I guess I can talk about this now. And that is that he doesn't believe that Dino Fury Blue is the final figure in Wave 14, and maybe it isn't. Maybe everything I've heard about that is wrong, even though we had the artwork for it from Tom Whalen and that kind of thing. He's saying that the fourth figure from Wave 14 is Mesogog from Dino Thunder. Now, Mesogog is a very interesting one here. I had heard about this a pretty good amount of time ago from, honestly, a couple of different sources, but now that he's just tweeted about it publicly, I've gotten the green light to talk about it a little bit here. So I always thought, from what I heard about Mesogog, that he was going to be a deluxe figure, or maybe not even that, maybe at least a store exclusive. But we have here from the Twitter account saying that it could be a Wave 14 figure. So we will find out probably soon enough if it's actually a Wave figure or if it's going to be Dino Fury Blue in that Wave slot. So I might have been wrong about Dino Fury Blue in Wave 14, and if I am wrong about that, I genuinely am sorry about that. I just thought from everything I'd heard that it would make a lot more logical sense for Ollie to fill that Wave slot than Mesogog. You look at him and you think that that's probably not a Wave figure, you know? So definitely some interesting stuff with that there. So Wave 14's lineup is a little up in the air. And of course, maybe some things have changed with it. We know Hasbro's changed lineups and stuff before. So, you know, I usually try to pride myself in having a pretty perfect track record with Lightning Collection leaks, but sometimes I get stuff wrong as well, and sometimes Hasbro changes things up, which makes my stuff wrong. But usually it's still somewhat correct. So I do apologize if some things are a little mixed up a little bit over the next couple of weeks as they do finally reveal this kind of stuff. Because, like I said earlier, wrench thrown into a bunch of stuff here. Cannot believe that I woke up to a tweet like this today. Tenga Warrior 2-pack. So we have the Tenga Warrior 2-pack. Remember this silly thing that we had a listing for 13 months ago and we thought maybe it was canceled because it just never showed up, and then I talked to you about how it did show up again recently for a June 1st release. Well, here it is, and it looks that's all I can say with it. I like the box a lot. It's exactly what you'd expect a plastic-free Tenga Warrior box to look like. We can see that it looks like the figures are a little, like the picture looks like washed out, or it looks like they're faded a little bit. Like it's definitely a different paint application to them a little bit. But there's still pins, like there's still pins in the figures, so they really didn't even change that on the figures. The figures themselves just look like a very much repaint. We can see one of them kind of has a little bit more of a blue sheen, and the other one has a little bit more of a green sheen on the paint there. So I do kind of like the new paint job with this, but it's a very skippable release that I don't exactly understand why they're doing it in the first place. But hey, it was something that leaked a very long time ago, and it is finally happening here, so there is that. Now, all of this brings us to that GIF of RPM Yellow. Now, he claims that he only put this GIF in here as just a picture to complete the picture group of 4 of them, and he says that he doesn't know anything about RPM coming to the line. RPM is coming to the line, so that's all I can say about that right now, and I do think that the GIF is an appropriate choice because RPM Yellow is the one that I have heard about. So didn't think I'd be able to talk about that so soon, but yes, RPM is coming to the Lightning Collection in 2023, so people can finally stop asking about it all the time. I know, I get it. RPM is one of my favorite seasons as well, but I do believe, I think RPM Yellow is a Wave 15 figure, but as we've seen here, we have all this other jumbling up of stuff, so maybe not. But as from what I've heard, RPM Yellow is more than likely a Wave 15 figure in the Lightning Collection, but I have no other details that I can share about that just yet. But since he put this GIF here, he didn't intend it to be a leak of Lightning Collection RPM Yellow, I can confirm that it's happening either way. Whether he intended on it to be, or whatever it may be, there's that. While I was editing this video, I was actually able to reach out to him, and he shared with me another photo of SPD Yellow, so we actually have her with her box there as well. So it doesn't really show us anything, crazy new that the other picture doesn't show us, but I really do like the box quite a bit for her, even though the helmet is kind of tilted a little bit to the side compared to like the other ones from the plastic free, where it's kind of more of a straight-on kind of view. But still, really interesting to see this. I literally cannot believe that I woke up with this. And this tweet got it was posted at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then it got like a couple likes and stuff like that. And then I woke up at 10 o'clock in the morning and I just kind of rolled over in bed. And I saw it, and like nobody had really shared it around yet or anything. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. So I shared it around and I was freaking out. And I jumped out of bed to make this video. Wow. So craziness. So like I said, I think that a lot of the stuff is going to be revealed here pretty soon. Not only did the fact that we have pictures of it, but we had that tease on Entertainment Earth with Power on January 17th, and now we have SPD Yellow now. We have, well, basically, I'm going to just I'm going to just associate her being a Wave 14 reveal. So we have a Wave 14 reveal, we have Invisible Phantom Ranger, we have the Tenga Warrior 2-pack, we have the remastered Mighty Morphin Blue. That's 4, like, big things that would add up to, like 8 figures or something that they can show off at an event. So I definitely think an event is right around the corner here. We're just kind of waiting for Hasbro to confirm one at this point, because there's just no way that there isn't one with all this. So huge thanks to @EUSoHealth on Twitter for sharing all this stuff. I still cannot believe that this has happened. Like I've said already, I mean, fantastic. And also he followed me, so I was able to DM him now, because we got to talk about everything that is happening here. So that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this emergency episode of Lightning Storm. I have no idea what Saturday's main episode is going to be about now, so be sure to give him a follow for all this incredible Lightning Collection stuff he was able to leak for us this morning. And that's going to do it. So I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. This is your Lightning always strikes twice. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Ethan Dank, Redstone MCPC, Comics 1017, and James DeHurley. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, link in the description below.